You are now tuned in to the Gifted Gab.
Yes, sir. 1K Convos. The
We're
boy,
here.
Dairyen Valdez.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Feels like home.
It is home. Edmonton's where it's at. I've been trying to tell
I
people.
don't know. I might not go home. I'm not liking Calgary right now. The scary place.
I want, if Caleb ever hears this, I want him to know that Calgary's not where it's at. Sorry, Calgarians.
Regardless, we're prairie boys. It's okay.
Speak for yourself.
You've made a home at this place. You're more comfortable here than me. Both of you and bars. It's not
I love
okay.
it here.
I can see that.
So welcome.
I can see that. Your smile is genuine.
I'm having a great time. If I got arrested tomorrow, I will smile at my mugshot.
Because you know it'd be okay. That's the thing. There's a bubble over here.
It's nice. It's
You know,
different.
It's safe.
It's safe, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of racism.
A little bit, you know?
A lot.
It's character. Builds character, you know? There's got to be some sort of diversity.
You need diversity.
You need diversity.
Maybe it's a hick that, cuts you off in traffic and calls you a slur.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta hug it.
Take it to the chin.
That's the one thing that this time has taught me. You gotta learn to hug things, you know?
Just take it to the chin.
You gotta take it to the chin. Charge it to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my motto. Charge it to the game. It happens.
Yeah. It happens.
What can you do?
Yeah. This is how I know you live here. 4 years ago, you wouldn't have reacted that way. That's how I know you have peace. Peace of mind. You're not ready to snap no more.
I'm not. I don't have patience. Yeah. It's not worth my peace.
Yeah.
It's not worth my peace. Cheers to peace.
Cheers.
Take a little bit of this. Speaking of such, we talk about peace.
Yeah.
Such a volatile time.
Yeah.
So much
volatile.
So much uncertainty.
Yes.
Nobody knows what's gonna happen next.
Lord knows. Yeah.
So as a hooper,
Oof.
what's going through your mind right now?
As a hooper, oh, dang. I think as a hooper, I think we've had to experiment. All of us have went through our own little path, trying something different. It's almost a beautiful time because, now we all as a hooper, you almost live in a fantasy lifestyle,
Yeah, it's a good way
especially if you get to a certain level, it's kind of like things are just given to you. But this time has made you kind of just look in the mirror, and really figure out who you are on your own,
without a basketball.
Without a basketball, because it becomes basketball has been such a big sport for somebody like me. I met you through basketball. I met all my friends through basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a place where you almost create your own value on who you are. But it's a fickle thing. So it's kind of opened my eyes to figure out what actually I have value in. What
other things you contribute to the world.
So it's been beautiful because in a sense I've gotten an opportunity to relearn about myself, and figure out what I truly love to do, and what I actually miss most about basketball,
What do you miss most about basketball right now?
Just the outlet, Basketball is one of those sports where you watch. We've been playing together for how long? For so many years. You watch me play. You watch you play. It's completely different basketball. Mm-hmm. It's almost just like it's who we are. You watch somebody play basketball, and it's almost a representation of the life they've lived. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's been that self-expression. I think I've been missing that, but yeah, definitely.
So in a sense, you kind of have to find new ways to express yourself.
100%.
That's how 100%. I felt when I stepped away. From basketball, it's okay.
Yeah, and look at you now. Oh. You're wearing a turtleneck. Life's changed. I would have
never put on a turtleneck 4 years ago.
Before you had basketball shorts underneath your jeans.
That was a wild time.
That was
a wild time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Untouched with reality.
Basketball shorts under the jeans.
Yeah.
Remember those fitteds with the flaps?
No. The ones that button up at the top. Oh, I never got there. Those must have been weird times in Toronto.
Different time.
Yeah.
Interesting times. There's a lot of interesting things that we've done those times. Yeah. The shorts under the jeans is a wild there. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're ready to go anytime.
I never explored that. Jeans too tight. It's the style nowadays.
Some of us made the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And the ones that did are the ones that don't have kids now.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
It's okay. I'm totally okay with it. Like the jeans will stay tight.
Yeah.
There won't be any shorts underneath.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's good times.
It's turtleneck time.
Turtleneck season. It's cold.
Chilly hours. It's cold in the streets. You gotta stay safe.
Man, I don't know, man. It's a weird time. Like we're approaching flu season.
Oh,
And
Lord
COVID.
knows what that's gonna be like.
You know what? I'm so over it.
Yeah. I refuse to be scared.
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
can't.
I put my foot down.
Yeah. I'm back. Taking my life back. Take my life back.
Yeah, I'm taking control.
Taking it back into my hands. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't live scared anymore.
Yeah, I refuse.
It's so hard.
I refuse.
It's nice because like a lot of the stuff that was like really brainless that we were doing just to do. There's a lot of shit that you just do just to do.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like shisha every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never look at the repercussions, you know? You're just going and going.
Going through the motions. Some people want to go back to that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm okay here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Like when COVID kind of like stopped and everything was kind of ready to reopen, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm not ready. Give me a moment.
It's gonna close again.
Yeah. I'm not ready now. I'm not ready for it to close again. You know, I don't really want to take a step back. I want to move in a different direction. You know.
Well, if it closes again,
you got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Like the first time everything closed, nobody knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember how long we were closed. Like 2 months, two and a half months, 2 months. What was it? You know, now it's like, okay, there's a chance we might close again.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, the first time, if like, you know, nothing came out of it, this time maybe something can come out of it. You know, because now it's like you have a second try.
And one thing that we're good at is everybody just adapts, you know? It's funny, like when we first went out, you could see everybody just uptight. It was an awkwardness about it, you know? But now I see everybody's, you know, we're back to being human again. It's like we almost had to relearn.
Some of us have learned.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that still refuse to wear masks.
Yeah, anti-maskers.
Yeah.
But you know them when you see them, you know?
I haven't seen any in person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because you stayed far away from Calgary.
There's a lot of anti-maskers.
A lot of people in tense situations, you know?
I don't understand what is so hard about just wearing a mask.
I think it's just the thought of being under somebody else's control, you know? That's what I think.
I think it's deeper than that.
You think it's deeper than that? What do you think?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. I think white people, okay?
Yeah.
Because the majority of anti-maskers are white people, right?
100%.
I think these white people are in a Me Too phase. They see the talks
They're
about the oppression.
looking for a reason to feel,
They see black people, you know, protesting.
My life's tough, you know?
Yeah, they're like, oh, my life is tough too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be oppressed by wearing masks anymore.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking pathetic. They arrested this guy who's a fucking anti-masker leader.
Yeah.
Fucking bonehead. And he was trying to go to the Maritimes and start his little anti-mask rally over there, and they arrested him at the airport.
Yeah. Like, what are you? Yeah.
It's like, stop causing commotion.
Why? Why do you want to be going through it so bad?
You cause a commotion for no reason.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I watched The Social Dilemma the other day.
Social Dilemma, is that the... What's Social Dilemma? Is
That's
that
the one where they
with
talk
phones?
about... Yeah, phones.
Yes.
Social media. I finished it.
The algorithm.
The algorithms.
It's caught us all.
Everybody's caught it.
spell,
Everybody's caught it. But they talk about how like YouTube and like all these other apps are designed to get you sucked in, like recommended for you and all that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like conspiracy theorists and all this shit, when people start talking to me about conspiracy theorists, they're like, oh, look, you've been caught by the algorithm.
Yeah. Got him.
The algorithm got you. So now I'm like, when people talk about like it's one thing to think for yourself and think critically.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like sucked in by these YouTube videos, and all these conspiracy videos and all this shit. And I'm just like,
it's almost hard to have your own thoughts about something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, are you really actually thinking about that? Or are you being steered in a certain direction?
Yeah.
You know?
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's such a weird time in society right now.
Yeah.
You go on social media, I always say this. Can't spend too much time on Twitter. Because everything
Twitter will poison you.
Oh, it's black and white.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have a thought about something. I'll see something on Twitter, somebody expressing their thought that's in the opposite way, and I'll see people supporting it, and I'll be like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think I believe myself anymore. You know, I want to agree with them. All of a sudden, I'm like, and I had to look at myself. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
it's toxic, and it's never like I've never seen anybody on Twitter come and be like, hey guys, what about the gray area here?
Yeah.
You know, what about the middle ground here?
Yeah,
everything is black or white.
Yeah,
liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. You know,
you say something
pro or anti.
You say something, you're canceled. You know.
Yeah, it's like that's not a realistic way of society. You know,
that's why I go back to we have to relearn to be human almost. You know, because during quarantine we spent all this time looking, judging. You know, thinking through other people's eyes, and you know.
I like that, thinking through other people's eyes. Yeah. So, and that's why I like a lot of conversations now. You gotta ask yourself, you know, the person's thoughts that are coming out of their mouth, are they their own? Yeah. Do they contradict themselves a lot? Yeah. You know, what is the thinking process that led them to think like this? Right? Because there's a lot of people, they are radical. But, you know, like when we talk about politics, you know, if you were asking me, are you liberal or conservative? You know, to a conservative, you may say something that's very, very, you know, you might be a conservative and say something that's very liberal, and they might look at you, oh, you're such a liberal. Yeah. You talk to a liberal, and you might be a liberal, and you say something that's a little bit conservative, and they'll look at you like, oh, you're freaking conservative. It's everything is like two poles.
But that's not the way life actually is.
It's not life. Yeah. It's not life at all. It's a great area.
Yeah. Nobody's one thing or another thing, you know? And that even goes back to me in basketball. Like, I'm a basketball player, but I'm realizing I'm not just a basketball player.
There's more.
You know? There's more.
There's more to it. Yeah. Even like with like identity. You know, you talk about identity. It's like when someone's like, oh, you're half-breed. Yeah. No, you're not a half-breed.
I'm this.
You're both cultures.
Yeah.
You're an intersection of both cultures. Yeah. You're not half of this and half of that.
And you yourself might be one culture, but you're a makeup of everything you've been around.
That's exactly it, you know? And so it's just a weird time. And like now I'm at a point where like I love conversing with people, but I'm at a point where I can like, okay, like this person's so full of shit. I'm at that point now. Yeah. You know, I used to talk to, I'm a social butterfly. Yeah. I used to fucking talk to everybody, hear everybody out. But now I'm just like,
sometimes you don't want to hear it. You know?
I'm tired.
Yeah. It's enough.
Enough's enough. Enough is enough. Yeah. Enough's enough. Yeah. It's like, you know, like, it's just a weird time. And so I like, you know, with the whole 2020, I've really appreciated being by myself. It's so nice.
Yeah, because you can spend time on the things that actually matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Things that I really care about.
And like the regular day-to-day, there's so much bullshit, you know?
Fuck.
So much bullshit.
There's so much bullshit. I didn't know how much bullshit there was, you know, until COVID hit. You know, you think that you're focused. I thought I was focused. Then when COVID hit, I'm like, oh, shit. I'm not as focused as I thought I was.
Because one thing I realized, I spent so much time doing things that didn't really help me progress in any sort of way, you know? Kind of just filling in the time, filling the spaces, filling in the gaps, you know? Like, one thing that always interests me is...
Speaking to the mic.
One thing that always interests me is, like, as a human, it's almost becoming unnatural to be on your own, in your own thoughts, you know? Like, I'll be at a doctor's appointment. I'll talk to the person at the front desk, tell me to take a seat, and instantly I feel like an itch to open my phone, you know?
Yeah, me too. I feel that too.
And you're missing out on so much of reality, you know?
It's that itch has been created with, like, we haven't realized how easy it is to become addicted to technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a drug.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I just started doing this thing. I got like a wireless charger.
Yeah.
So now, at night, if I need to
That
charge my
that blew
phone,
my mind, by the way.
yeah.
Yes. So that was, never seen that before.
So now it's like at night, if I have to charge my phone,
Yeah.
it has to be on the wireless charger.
Mm-hmm. It has to be far away from you.
I can't use it
Yeah,
anymore
yeah.
while it's charging.
Yeah.
It's a simple habit, but so just so that, because now it's like, now if I spend a lot of time on my phone before bed, my sleep is really, really affected.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I wake up, I'm groggy. It's
Yeah.
really difficult for me to wake up. If I give myself like an hour, you know, when I'm not on my phone, not checking emails, not checking social media or anything now,
Yeah.
and even not even watching television, I feel a lot. Like my sleep quality feels
Yeah.
better.
You almost feel more at peace.
Yeah,
Your mind feels clear.
yeah.
You know?
It's crazy, and it's like our generation. We came up. Technology is such a big thing.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, everything was technology. We haven't really been like with everything else, with like food,
Yeah.
with video games. We were sort of given like not boundaries necessarily, but from a young age, our parents policed us on these things.
Yeah, yeah.
So we developed habits on how
To be in control still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that with phones.
No, it's there all the time.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
There's nobody to say,
Yeah,
hey, get off your phone.
Yeah.
You know, hey, that's enough. Even when I was in high school, the teacher would tell me to get off my phone. I told him, fuck off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was never, we never had that that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And so now we're seeing that, you know, it's so easy to be addicted to this little piece of hardware.
And it's just like it's like every single time you go on it, you're searching for something, you know?
You don't know what you're searching
You
for.
know what you're searching for, but you're searching for something. And the thing is, it's such a good tool. Like look what you're doing through social media. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody has to find that balance of using it in a way that's like gives you an advantage, because it's a tool. It's a resource.
It's serious. Social media is serious.
But also not allowing it to take control over you. You know?
Yeah.
Like that feeling of you're searching for something.
Yeah.
You know?
But what are you searching for?
You don't even know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
It's such a fucked up time.
You need something
we're living
quickly. You need some, you know?
That microwave society, instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's in the form of likes or whether it's in the form of, you know.
Yeah.
Even with like Tinder, for example. Tinder.
Scary place.
If you've been on the Gifted Gab for a while now, you know. When I first came to Tinder, swipes were unlimited.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for love on Tinder. I was looking for temporary pleasures.
That's crazy.
And I found them all.
I found them all. It's gotta have long-lasting effects.
It really did. And I don't want to say that it probably ruined my outlook on like, you know, not like relationships and stuff, but definitely changed my perspective on like I, as a man, I don't really hold sex in a high standard. Yeah. I think anybody can have sex with anybody. That's not like people. It's a simple act. It's a simple transaction. People pay for sex.
It happens. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age, some people, you know, they still hold it in such a sacred, because it's an exchange, your bodies and all that stuff. So I understand that, but you know, with that access, that ease of access, do we still value human connection the same way?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I think because in a sense we see how big the world is. You know, we've given access. Like you go on Tinder, you swipe through everybody in the city. You know, and everybody there. It's like it's so interesting looking at everybody's profile. You know, because everybody is on there searching for something different in a place that you're probably not gonna get it.
You might not find it there.
You're probably not gonna find it there. You know.
It's so interesting. Yeah, Tinder. Good times. Great times. Tinder got me through college and university.
Yes. It's a good way to waste time.
Great way to waste time. You know, it's like everybody's looking for something different. You know? Yeah. Maybe I'll pick up Tinder to look for my third and fourth wife, but you know, other than that, it's like
it gets your brain going. It makes you think.
Because it's like, you know, there's so many dating apps. There's Hinge, there's Bumble, there's all these dating apps.
Yeah.
People find each other on Twitter and Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Like, our generation, the way we look for, you know, a companion, especially now with COVID, it's changed.
Changed 100%.
You're not going to bump into the love of your life at the library anymore.
Yeah.
Or a bookstore.
Oh,
or
never.
Anything. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to virtually bump into them in a fucking Zoom call or something.
Yeah.
or something like, it's totally different.
It's unnatural, yeah.
And it's like, we're not, and once you leave that like college, university world, you're not around
the same type of people,
You're not around a bunch of people that are striving for the same things as you anymore. So it's
you
like,
kind of got to go out there and look for it.
I always say, if you don't look for it, it'll just find you.
Yeah.
You should do your own thing and it just finds you. But
in this day and age right now, it's kind of hard to really.
Well, it's like, you know.
You think it's easier or you think it's harder?
I think it's easier. I think you would go through a lot more of the emotions as a guy. You know, for it's probably much different for women.
Yeah.
But as a man, it's like, you know, and then it's at the same time, it's like, it's so difficult to constantly open yourself up to people.
Yeah, like I had this one conversation, and it was terrible, so boring. And I was like, I had to take a step back. I had to ask them, is this how most of your conversations go? They told me, like, yes. Well, like 96% of my conversations go like this. I'm like, why are you here? I wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. You know?
That's so unfortunate.
And I feel like that's the same case for a lot of people.
I don't know. I just feel like there's some people that do find what they're looking for.
Yeah.
If you know what you're looking for.
You have to, that's the thing. You have to know what you're looking for.
If you're looking for, you know, friend with benefit, a one night stand off Tinder, which is
you have to be honest with yourself.
Be honest. And I think that's what's so hard.
Yeah.
With this, like, with the access to this technology and social media and all this shit. Yeah. It's very, very, very difficult to be honest with yourself. Even as a basketball player.
Because you're trying to be an image.
Yeah.
You know?
You can fake it. It's easy to look sharp when you've done no work.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But are you actually, like, doing what you perceive or what you perceive yourself to be? Is that what your lifestyle is? Is that what your day-to-day is? Is that what your you know? And it's like, if you keep trying to keep up this image, you're trying to maintain all this stuff, that shit's exhausting. Yeah. And then if you're looking at yourself from the eyes of other people, are you honest with who you are at that point? Because if I'm constantly looking at, I think image is everything.
Yeah, it is 100%.
Images, your image, how you perceive yourself to people, how you're perceived to the world is everything because it's everybody's first impression of you. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to be honest with yourself and honest to the world about who you are. Yeah. Because if you're not, then it's like, okay, if I perceive myself to be this person online, and then someone meets me, and I'm not this person, now you're in this fucking vicious loop of trying to prove yourself to be this person. Now it's like, well, what the fuck?
It's hard though, because everybody's trying to find, because I think at this point, a lot of people like our age or, you know, are kind of uncertain. Everybody kind of has to take a step back and look at the drawing board, you know, kind of really figuring out who they are, you know. So I think now we run into that a lot more because almost people are trying to become something out of nothing, you know, because we've with everything happening, we realized what we knew wasn't actually true, you know? So that's interesting that you bring it up, but like I think part of it, like it's weird because you kind of have to find that balance of fake it till you make it, you know? You have to, because I honestly believe that you have to convince somebody who you are, especially if you're doing something outside the box, you have to speak on it as if it already exists. You have to convince the people around you before you can fully convince yourself, you know?
You think so?
I think so. Because I think you learn who you are through other people's eyes.
Really? That's an interesting take. Keep going. I want to hear. I want to hear this. This is interesting. Let me pick up my glass.
One, like I had a transaction with one of our friends a long time ago, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me for a really, really long time. And he was talking to me about starting his brand up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is before he laid any groundwork, you know. He hadn't really done anything, you know, yet. But he told me about it, and he was passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
And during this conversation, I said something about it being just a thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at me and he's like, "It's not a thing. This is what I do. I'm doing it."
Mm-hmm.
You know? And now it's unfolded and became this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It became exactly what he envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, he convinced me that it was going to become what it was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for him, that was super important. And one thing he said on Twitter that I held with me is validate yourself in front of others,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because if you hold yourself to a certain standard, people are going to hold you to that certain standard too.
I agree with that.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's a mix of like speaking it into existence,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem is it's easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so easy to say, hey, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, faking the funk.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And then
Yeah.
it was like, okay, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
What's the groundwork?
Yeah.
How do I lay
Yeah.
out the groundwork? And how do I lay out the
You have to
foundation?
actually be willing to put in the work to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because really, there is really no limit to what can be achieved.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of people that I've had conversations with
Mm-hmm.
that don't think the same way
Mm.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm a very optimistic person.
Yeah.
I think that if you're willing to do the work, anything is possible.
100%.
But there's a lot of people that don't think
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people you will tell your idea to, you will tell your vision to, and they'll be very cynical about it.
Mhm.
You know, and even when me and Andre started the Gifted Gab, we had a lot of these conversations.
Mhm.
Not a lot of the we had just a couple of conversations
Yeah.
about this with certain people,
Yeah.
and instead of the reaction being, okay, you know what's that gonna look like? It
Mhm.
was, well, that doesn't sound very, you know, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Or how are you gonna make money out of it? Or
yeah.
that's a very, you know,
Mhm.
it doesn't sound very well
Yeah.
thought out.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, nobody's gonna understand your vision
Mhm.
except for you.
Yeah, because if you're talking to somebody, they're gonna implement their own fears and failures on your vision.
Projections.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nipsey said this in the song. It's like like I never vocalize my vision. Actions is my spokesperson.
yeah.
You know.
got to.
So he never really said. He'll say it, mention what he does,
Yeah.
but the actions will speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know, and I think speaking it into existence is a good thing. I think, you know, if I'm like,
You
hey, I'm
have
gonna
to.
do this thing,
Yeah.
da 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 da.
You
Now
have to be willing to.
I've planted the seed.
Yeah,
That like, oh, okay, now you're looking out for this.
Mhm.
Now there's the expectation of this.
Mhm.
You know.
yeah.
Now the next time we have a conversation, you're gonna say, hey, how's that thing going?
Mhm.
And now on me it's on me to you know,
Keep that same energy.
yeah, to keep the same energy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the first 3 months of stuff, of when you start something,
It's trials and tribulations. It's a lot of
not
failure.
just that, honeymoon phase,
Yeah,
right? It's still sweet.
yeah, 100%.
It's still, everything's still good in the first 3 months.
Mm.
But what about when shit starts getting tough?
Mhm. Then it's easy to just fold. And,
It's very
you know?
easy to fold.
Yeah.
And some people fold. Some
Yeah.
people.
Technical difficulties.
We're good.
Yeah.
Some people fold and some people find a way to keep going. But, you know, I don't know. I've always just been like, I'm very, very big on writing shit down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then that way.
Because then it becomes real.
That's the first step to making something real.
Mm-hmm.
Like the very, very first step. Because it takes your idea and now it's on paper.
Yeah, something
Or
you can
now it's
look
on
at.
a whiteboard. Or now it's
Yeah.
on a wall, a chalkboard, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, it's like, okay, you have to break it down. How do you make it happen? How do you make it work?
Yeah, you gotta take the steps.
Yeah, so I don't know. For me, basketball was like my first real example of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
And it's funny because like I, from like a younger you and like as from a watchful eye, in the background, you know. I watched how it became just a simple conversation and how it unfolded. Like you playing pro and you're on, you know. At first it was just a conversation, and then it became real. And then you ended up going out there and doing it. Even this, you know, at a certain point it was just a conversation.
Yeah, it always starts with a conversation, you know, and I don't know, I think it's big when people are. One thing you see on Twitter is like girls tweet, "I like a man who's a man of his word." First of all, sugar. If I told you I'm gonna take you out from McDonald's tomorrow, that's just to get you happy. Okay?
Please.
When I tell myself I'm gonna take myself to go get McDonald's tomorrow, I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like, you know, sometimes when you tell yourself some things, you just like, you know, you have to go and make it happen somehow, some way. And even the whole thing with the Iran thing, you know, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. But I made it happen. I did everything humanly possible to make it happen. And so
you can step away from it and be like, okay, how was that?
Yeah, you know, like I did everything I could to make that happen, and it happened. And
okay, I did it.
I was happy.
That's one thing off the check mark.
Exactly.
You know,
is off the bucket list type thing.
Yeah. And then that makes the next goal, the next thing you do, more attainable. It becomes real. Because
now you know that whatever formula or whatever you did to process that to make it happen, you can do it with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
It's almost like you got to program your mind in order to be successful later, you know?
Yeah, it is just mindset, really.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out.
One thing it's funny, as like a basketball player, I was having this conversation with a couple friends that played college basketball just like me just a few days ago. And there's some things that you just don't learn in the real world, you know? Like, it was funny because we were talking about those times, you know those moments when it's a bad practice. It's a really bad practice.
Yeah.
You ever get to those moments when you're so tired of running, but your coach is pissed off at you and giving you all these different things that they're going to punish you with if you don't make it? At a certain point, your mind turns off. You're just going. You become a robot. Yeah. You're faced with so much adversity that nothing else makes sense, but you just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
That you don't really see that in day-to-day life, you know?
No.
Like it's a feeling that you can't explain to somebody who hasn't went through it.
I tried to explain this to this. I had this little fling with this girl, this American girl, once upon a time. Yeah. And we were just chopping it up in the car one day, and I tried to explain to her, like, I don't understand. I don't know. I get to this point where I completely just detach myself from my emotions. Yeah. Is it healthy or not? Probably not. Yeah. But when I get to this point of when I'm working on stuff, is when I make the most progress. Yeah. You know, I don't make progress if I'm really feeling, and I don't. It's not. I don't think it's discipline. I don't think it falls under discipline. But you get to a certain point where it's like a zone, and everything else doesn't matter for a little bit. Nothing else matters. Nothing else. Yeah. Not how I'm feeling. Not if I'm hungry. Not if I'm, horny or whatever it is. And it can be like a couple hours in a day. Yeah. But I've had it where I've had it
lasts
for
a long time.
Months on end where I'm in this zone. And I don't know how to and I'm still trying to figure out how to get to that zone. Because when I was playing basketball, I was able to get in that zone. Yeah. You know, and sometimes even when I'm working, I have this zone where I just write.
The task seems simple. It becomes a simple thing.
You know? Boom, 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 boom. You knock them off. It's like hyper focus. Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't figured out how to
actually trigger it. Yeah. Into happening.
It just comes out of I find it comes out of routine. Yeah. But I don't know what exactly gets it to that point. And I tried to explain that to this girl, and she looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah. Because I think because of the language I was using, I was like, the detachment of I detached from all my emotions.
It's the zone.
It's a zone,
and it's an interesting thing because it's like you look at like a basketball player. I'll take it back to basketball. It's a guy has a stretch where he's hitting the most crazy shots in the world.
He just throws it and it's going in.
Nothing's changed.
Rock
He
in the ocean.
hasn't been dropped to like some magic, you know? It's the same person. His mindset just switched because something happened that triggered him, you know? And like I've been there too, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine myself being like in the state I am. I can't imagine myself being in there. Like I couldn't turn it on right now. No, you know, it happens.
How do you? And that's a question.
How do you trigger that? Like, is there?
How do you get there?
Is there a cheat code? If you could hit that, that's a cheat code to life.
It's almost like an unconscious.
Yeah,
that's not what thinking about anything. You're not thinking about anything.
I was actually Googled and I was reading about the zone. And it's funny because it like helped me kind of realize what it is a little bit, because it taught me that in order to get somebody out of the zone, you're supposed to ask them how they're doing what they're doing. So they're consciously thinking about what they're actively doing. So when you're in the zone, you're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just going.
You're not thinking about it. Yeah, you're not thinking about it at all. It's just it's almost as if it's just motions.
Yeah,
you're just going through motions.
Yeah,
mindlessly.
You know? Like you're not even there.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I've had it like playing basketball.
Yeah,
I've had it like doing work. I've had it for long stretches, like months on end, where I'm just like in this constant mindless motion of go.
Yeah,
and you on the long stretches you don't know where it starts and you don't know when it ends.
Yeah, but
you're really aware. You're like, holy shit, like you know, I've been, and sometimes you just burn out, but you're like, yeah, I was able to do so much in such a.
Do you ever think about it while you're doing it? Because one thing happens to me when I get to the zone. I'm telling myself, like, I'm feeling it. Like I'm here right now. You know, like do you feel very in the moments? Like, do you know that?
I don't know. I don't know. You kind of know you're in it, but you don't really.
Is there much self-talk?
I'm always self-talk, but I think in that moment I'm not self-talking. I talk to myself a lot. When I'm playing basketball, I talk to myself. If you see me like, you know, throw a bad pass or some shit, like you'll see me like be like you know, fuck Alex, like, you know, wake up. Like I'll say that to myself out loud.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm like, you know, I doing some work or whatever, I'll talk to myself. Like it's a natural thing, but I don't think I'm talking to myself at that point, because it's so mindless.
Yeah.
You know, and it has something to do with the reps. I just can't. I've never been able to put my finger on it.
Yeah.
I just know that when I'm in there, it's happening, and you want to make it last for as long as possible.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic because it's like, it's almost like a cheat code the way I think about it. You know, one person that makes me think about it is when I watched him play, John Smith. Shout out to John Smith. Every time I watch him play, I'm like, what is this guy thinking? You know, because I've seen him go stretches where he's like in a little bit of a slump. You know, and a lot of guys will just take it as is, change their mindset, but he can go from having that slump to being on fire for the next 5 minutes.
Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot.
And he'll completely forget about the slump that happened before, you know? But it's like, what goes on in your mind in that point where you're in the slump to trigger that motion where you are in the zone, you know?
My coach used to call it short-term memory.
Yeah.
You don't think about the last shot.
Like, are you not thinking at all? You know what I mean? Like, are you...
How do you strike that balance?
Yeah.
You know, because Kobe was always saying something. I always say that, like, I think Kobe was at his best. I was saying this to Nolan on one episode. Was 2012, 2013. Right before he tore his Achilles. 2013.
Yeah.
I think that was...
Why?
Because...
Nobody would say that.
No,
but why?
I'll tell you why. Because 05, 06, 07 Kobe was, like, athletic prime Kobe. 08 Kobe was like well-rounded team Kobe.
He did it differently. Yeah.
And then obviously young Froby was like, you know, the athletic beast, you know. But 2012, 2013 Kobe was like, everything was so effortless. There was 3-4 counters for everything. The game was of
course you would think
It was a different type. The shit he was doing, like the mentally, and like even you see like he was 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like his skill was like, obviously he's always ahead of people in skill, but he was also athletically
gifted,
like still like up there with it, like or past everybody, right? But at 2012, 2013, it was like he was seeing things before they happened.
Yeah.
Like the moves, the spin-offs, he was the reads were so clean.
Yeah.
And he was getting these easy dunks. He was getting these. The shots just looked like there was nobody in the gym with him. And it's like
it looked like he was just putting up reps.
That's exactly what it looked like. And I'm like, you're watching it and you're like, damn. I think the game where he tore his Achilles.
Oh, he was going
bananas. Crazy. He had 35. Yeah. He just pulled back, dropped Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Spin move, dunk. Yeah. Like the shit he was doing that game. You're like, holy smokes! Like, and it was every night.
Yeah.
It was every single night,
and especially when it mattered.
It did matter because
I think they needed that game. I forget why
they did, because they were on 9th. They were in the outside looking in the playoffs, and he said, "He's like, we're gonna make the playoffs. we're making the playoffs." And he tore his Achilles, but they ended up being the 7th seed.
Yeah,
and it's like, damn.
Yeah,
like at that point, like I've never seen. People talk about MJ. I got to see MJ like tail end and like shit ass MJ, and you watch the highlights and stuff.
The Wizards
MJ, but MJ never had it like that.
Mm-mm.
MJ was physically a lot dominant and more dominant people, and he hit tough shots and shit. But his bag wasn't 4, 5, 6 moves deep
and ahead.
The footwork. The like basketball is a game of inches. And Kobe was a master of that.
Those little things, the details.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. And I think that was that when we're talking about that zone, that accumulation of his reps and the time he put in.
Yeah.
I think at that point he had finally found out how to turn the zone on. Because it was really like, And obviously after the Achilles, he couldn't quite get back to that. He wasn't the same, but
changes you for sure.
That's why I say in every episode, I think Kobe's the best player of all time. And I don't even think it's a conversation, but I don't think
it's
But that zone, when you can get there, fuck. Because Kobe's zone was different. He was imposing his will.
Yeah, constantly. He was making the people around him believe.
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy. Like sometimes I don't even watch Kobe. When I watch Kobe highlights, I watch the people around him. The other team look like they're in fear of a man. You know? Yeah.
And I don't see, we talk about LeBron and he coming off this ring, and like I think LeBron is the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Like bar none. It's like him and Ali like are up there together. Even though Ali sacrifices.
I think he's the greatest athlete of all time. For sure.
But when we talk about
basketball's a different game.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. There's a lot of 70% of the game is scoring. And I just see, like, LeBron, as great as a basketball player he is, and he's a great facility. I was saying this to Bart, that he's the best passer of all time. Like, I think he's better than Magic at passing.
Yeah.
But I still look at him and how he scores and his bag. I see there's, like, a lot of holes
in it.
100%. Because guys, he gets his 25 with his eyes closed. But I'm always about, how does that guy get his 25? You know? What's the methodology?
That's what was funny in conversation. Remember when Kyrie said that for the first time in his life, he has another closer with him. And people lost their shit, but they didn't understand.
No, I understood.
They didn't understand what that really meant. It's not no knock to
it's
LeBron.
Not a knock.
No, it's a different type of mentality. It's a different part of the game.
Yeah.
That's not really like LeBron's the game winners, you know what I mean? But just the timing, the timely buckets.
Timely buckets. That's it right
different.
there.
It's different.
Timely buckets. Because, and this is the problem with stats.
Yeah.
Timely buckets don't show up on a stat sheet.
Yeah.
Because there's many games that, there's a game where Kobe was 3 for 20. against the Pelicans, and he fucking in the fourth quarter with 20 seconds left, he shoots a game-winning shot.
Yeah.
So on the stat sheet, he's 4 for 21.
Yeah. But he hit the shot that matters.
But they win because of him.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, that stuff doesn't show on the stat sheet. And basketball casuals, big shout out to the Ball Don't Stop. He's a genius. That guy, as a basketball player, I really appreciate his takes. Because he actually, you can tell, he analyzes the game. He doesn't just watch.
I was confused. Like, I'll read some of his stuff. I'm like, who are you? Where did you get this knowledge from?
I'm like, I'll watch, and like 10 out of 10 times I watch his stuff. I'm like, this guy's right.
10 out of 10, literally.
10 out of 10 times. Because there's a difference between, a lot of people watch basketball, but a lot of people just pretend they watch basketball. They just watch highlights. And there's a lot of people that play basketball. And there's the people that are like purists. They really watch the game, study the game. And there's people that pretend they play basketball. Yeah, they like to put on the jersey.
It's a good look.
Snap at the shoes.
It's a good look.
You know what I mean? But how many people actually like watch the game and watch the moves, and
see it for what it is,
the counters and the footwork and the you know? And that's why, like, when people come and they slander Carmelo, the first thing I say in my mind is like, okay, this guy doesn't watch basketball.
You don't watch basketball.
This guy doesn't watch. Because Carmelo's my favorite player. All the best hoopers I knew growing up, like the first person they say they watch is Carmelo. So it's very easy to understand that obviously if a good basketball player
has respect for this man, then he's doing something. He's been doing something.
It takes you back to the Twitter thing where everybody polarizes shit.
And everybody just wants to agree with everybody.
It's a group think. A lot of group think. Get a mind of your own. Get a mind of your own. It's not that hard. Step away from social media for a bit. Pick up a fucking book. Okay? Watch some stuff that you want to watch and understand that, okay, don't get caught up in the rabbit hole and just, you know, like, think for yourself. You know? And it's not just like, it's not just basketball. It's not just politics. It's a lot of shit. Relationships, music, you know? It's like everybody wants to be heard, but everybody's opinion isn't really, like, who gives a fuck what you think? You know, everybody's entitled to
everybody, It's all just a trend. Like, I know every girlfriend in the world is feeling the pressure this Christmas with that PS5 drop in, you know? You know? There's no reason for it. I agree with it, but there's no actual reason for it.
No, there isn't.
You know?
There isn't. If Twitter is pressuring you into buying your significant other a PlayStation 5, that's the only thing I'm going to agree with and say, do it.
You probably should.
You probably should. Yeah.
You know?
It'll help him keep him in the crib, away from hoes. If you don't buy him a PS5, another girl will. Just call it how I see it, you know. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see who's who, and that's really why I have a lot of admiration for comedians, because comedians have to have their own perspective on shit. Like,
they have to say things that are controversial.
Yeah, not just controversial. You have to have a lens.
Yeah.
You have to look at shit that
differently.
Would be very, very offensive. If you said this,
you have to look at the way everybody thinks and be like, "Whoa, this is kind of like messed up," you know?
Yeah, and you know, this, like, right now in this day and age, is so easy to get canceled. Canceled? Cancel him. Fuck out of here. That's just stupid. Because it doesn't allow people to be able to make mistakes. It's like nobody is allowed to make mistakes.
Exactly. It's not natural.
Toxic way of thinking. And then in the world of comedy, there's so many people that just want to be offended for no reason. They want to be offended for no reason.
It's that Me Too, you know? Everybody wants to feel hurt. You know?
Grow up. And this is what I'm talking about. Like really, you have to think for yourself, because some people sometimes, and this is one thing I have noticed, it's okay to feel offended by things. Yeah. And it's okay to voice your opinion about things.
Yeah.
But to cling on to all the negativity and you know, use that as the only thing you're constantly fighting for day in and day out. Like if you're on Twitter or Instagram or whatever all the time arguing with fucking people about why this should be this way or this way, you're not contributing anything to the world. You're not. You know, if you're having a conversation about something, that's fine. But there's people that come and just argue with people in comments, argue with people on Twitter, argue their point. It's not that serious.
Yeah. It's about being heard.
Yeah, it's not that serious. When people say social media is not that serious, that part right there makes sense.
Yeah.
Social media is serious because there's people making money on social media, right? But there's too many times I'm seeing people cling on to this fight, that this thing that they believe in, and they feel that they have to go and voice it to the rest of the world, and that's their fight. That's their thing. It just means you have way too much time on your hands. There's so much other shit you can do in this day and age besides argue with people on social media.
There's a certain point who you're trying to convince.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
A fucking stranger on the internet?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is just
a weird time.
I think it's a very weird time.
You know?
And then the canceling comedians thing, you know. I have friends that are comedians, and they tell me stories about people that approach them and say how their shit's offensive, and it's like who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
This is an art form, an expressive way for people, right? It's not for, you can't make everybody happy, but you also can't fucking.
That can't be the goal, you know.
No, it's never the goal.
It's just like it's a unnecessary pressure being put out there, you know.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's a target. It puts a target on your back. Some people like the pressure.
Some people do. It's a weird time, especially because. So one thing that always stuck with me is, so during this time we've all just been watching. I think social media has put so much pressure on us to figure it out, you know, to be perfect, you know, especially because during quarantine it was like you're seeing all these injustices, you're seeing people speak up about it, you're seeing Forex people saying how they're making millions in their coach. It's like, what are you doing? I'm at home doing puzzles, you know what I mean?
I'm figuring my life out. Leave me alone.
You know? And it's like you see people on vacation and like, you know, and it doesn't make any sense. So it's and then at a certain point it's like, okay, things are starting to open up. You got to show people what you've been doing, you know what I mean? And then I think it gave like unrealistic expectations on where you're supposed to be in life.
Well, you know, the only person you're competing with is yourself.
Yourself, yeah, 100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and I look at it like, hey, as long as I've done a little bit more than yesterday,
I'm fine. Yeah,
I'm cool with that. And a little bit more can look like me just.
Yeah.
Yesterday I took a break and I said I'm just gonna fucking do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I need that, you know, and like too many people are getting caught up in what's going on around them.
Yeah.
Just figure it out for yourself. Yeah. It just, social media is weird.
It makes you feel like people care, but people don't care.
It's such a fun place, though.
It is fun.
It's a sandbox.
It gets messy. Very messy.
Why? It's so fun.
That's the thing. You can get whatever you want out of it, you know?
That's exactly, you choose your experience.
Yes.
You choose exactly
what you got to take advantage of it. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
I find the balance.
You know? I tell people all the time, there's so much shit I just want to do, you know? And it's like, one thing I admire about like you, Nolan, and a lot of guys is like, you guys have like a very specific talent that you can build around. And that's really cool because I'm a guy that like wants to do everything, you know? Yeah. It's so hard to like focus on one thing.
Yeah.
You know? I like clothes. I want to do clothes. I like basketball. I do some basketball. I like music too. Like I like so many things. Yeah. So like for me, it's like I'm just trying to find ways, and social media is a great way to find ways to bring in all the things you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
And as humans, like, specialization is for insects, you know? We're very curious things. You know? We want to explore. You know, whatever point in your life, you're learning who you are.
Yeah, constantly.
You know? Constantly.
There's no blueprint to this shit. Because if there was, a man would have wrote a book on it.
Yeah, 100%. And you just gotta keep trying things. That's one thing that this time has taught me is hug your L's.
Take it to the chin.
Take it to the chin.
Yeah.
Charge the game. You know.
That's it. That's all you can do.
You gotta embrace it. You gotta embrace it.
Everybody takes L's.
Yeah.
Takes the chin.
Because at the end of the day, if you're doing it and you're doing it the way you want to, it's beautiful.
That's all that matters.
You know.
That's
my goal. I want to do it and I want to do it beautifully. You know.
That's cheers to beauty.
Cheers to that. Cheers to beauty.
Cheers to beauty. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Unlcky Convos. Stay safe and don't drink and drive.